Hi, I'm going to show you how to replace a screen on an ASUS A52F laptop. First, you start by taking off the 6 little rubber bumpers that are on top of the 6 screws that hold on the faceplate. You get a Phillips screwdriver, take out the 6 screws, 4 across the top, 2 down in the corners. Keep everything intact and make sure that the screws are of different sizes, so you need to make sure which ones go back in the right spots. Then you take off the bezel. Just put your fingers underneath it and pop it up, being very careful not to break it. It's not too easy to break, but it can be done. Just carefully peel the bezel away from the screen. It snaps into place as it comes up. You can feel it snap. You can actually hear it click as it comes off. It's a little careful down at the bottom. Make sure you take the battery out before you start. That was one of the mistakes that I made. The battery was in the way of the bezel. So it gave me a little bit of trouble as I had to take the battery out. And so here you can see I'm taking the battery out, and then the bezel just pops off quite easily after that. Then you take off the 4 more screws, 4 across the top, 2 along the sides. Take off the brackets which hold the screen on. The screen then will just pull straight out, and the brackets on the side are held on with 4 screws on each side. Those need to also be removed. As you reach up in there, you can see the webcam and the wire that is attached kind of with some sticky gummy type material onto the back of the screen. Kind of carefully peel that away, and then you can see how it's attached. You can see a piece of cellophane tape there holding the connector on. Peel that up, take off the connector, and there's your laptop. And here I am just double checking to make sure the size fits and everything is the same. You will have different numbers from the original, so don't worry about that. It will fit. Just to make sure, as long as it looks correct, it will fit. First off, you just start by putting the connector back in. There is only one connector since this is an LCD. Snap it into place. You can actually feel it as it snaps in. Make sure it gets all the way in. It gets held back down and in place with that cellophane tape that's still on it. Take off the 4 screws that hold on the brackets onto each side. 4 screws on each side. Keep the brackets in correct orientation. There is a left bracket and a right bracket, so make sure you know which one is which. Don't mix them up. Screw them back in. A good quality screwdriver is very helpful because the screws will then stick onto the screwdriver. It becomes a one-hand operation at that point. Don't try to use a cheap screwdriver. It was a number 1 Phillips head screwdriver. My fingers aren't really moving that fast. This is just speeded up. The screen then just slides back up in. Set it in place. Get the side screws in first. That holds the screen in place so you can get the top bracket in. The top bracket once again is held in by 2 screws. Make sure that's oriented correctly also, so when you took that off, make sure that it's oriented. You pay attention to its orientation so that it can go back on correctly. This whole job took me about 15, 18 minutes. It was really quite simple. Make sure everything fits on tightly. Then the bezel is just going to snap back into place. Go all the way around. You can, once again, as it goes back in, you can hear it snap in. All the way around. Make sure it's snapped in all the way around. Put the 6 screws back in. And then just put the 4 rubber bumpers back on. The glue, the stickum that was on those rubber bumpers was still plenty sticky enough. Didn't have to apply any more adhesive to them. They just went right back into place and were held in. That one needed a little bit of adjustment, as you can see. But the rest of them I just got straight into place just by pushing them with my thumbs. And voila, job done.